Hey everyone, I am coming to you live this evening because we started a conversation earlier today on relationship. What creates relationship with horses? What is the most important thing? So a few days ago we were talking about seat, and I did a live video yesterday. This is Cabradita. She came over to say hello, join the conversation. Yesterday we did a live video on the seat and what is the one most important thing for the seat. And as we talked about with that video, there's a lot of things that go into having a good seat. And while I shared one thing that I think is most important, you'll have to go watch that video to see what it is, I kind of want to do the same thing here as we're thinking and talking about relationship with horses. Because there's a lot of things that go into our relationship with horses. There's a lot of things that go into what shapes our interaction with them, what shapes their behavior. And we'll touch on a few of those things. And I'll talk about what I think is perhaps the one most important thing. And it's already been mentioned in a number of different ways through the comments that have come in. But first, I want to introduce you to this girl right here. So we're back. This is what happens when you do live videos from the back pasture. So we just got cut off as I was going to introduce you to this gal. Her name is Jaguar, which is very original, considering that means mare in Spanish. But this is Jaguar. And she first came to live here with my horse Canelo. He's the chestnut there, the dark chestnut in the back with his butt towards us at the moment. She came to live here with her foal, that's Cabradita, her filly, about a year and a half ago. And she's had a lot of interaction with humans. She's been ridden quite a bit. But here in Mexico, as is true for, unfortunately, a lot of the horses, the training's pretty harsh. So I would say her experience with people wasn't really great. When she first came out here to live with Canelo, she wanted nothing to do with me. I mean, she kept her distance. I would come in the field and she would be off the other direction. And I never made any attempt to try to interact with her. But I was out here every day, usually at least 2 times a day, morning and evening, and I would come and I would be doing some training with Canelo in the field and just hanging out with the horses. And I literally never walked up to her, never made an effort to interact directly with Jaguar. And after about 6 months, she started to get closer and closer. And then there was a gap where I was doing some traveling. I left for a bit and I came back. And shortly after I came back, she started coming over. Every time I come in the field, she's usually one of the first to come right over and to say hello. And to me, it was a really cool process of being able to develop this relationship. And I don't work formally or train Jaguar, but we developed this relationship of just being out here, and without directly asking for anything, she got more and more comfortable with me, and finally she was the one to actually initiate our interactions, our relationship. And she's still usually the one to interact or to initiate that. So it's just a little story to show what I feel is the most important thing that we can bring to build relationship with our horses, and that is awareness. So that is awareness of them. And we've had a few of you mention this in the comments in different ways. Fleeta said presence. One of the other students said paying attention. I think we had another person who said, noticing what it is that they need, noticing what they're afraid of. And I totally agree with this. And I would just sum it up as being aware of the horse and responding to them. So awareness is one thing. We can be aware that they're scared and just ignore it, or we can be aware that they're uncomfortable and ignore it. But when we're aware and then we respond to that, we slow down if we're brushing a spot that they start to get tense or try to move away, or we stop and we look with them instead of just dragging them along. And they hesitate at doing something that we ask, instead of just immediately raising the pressure to try to force them through, we pause for a moment and we check in to see, is what I'm asking them to do, is it appropriate right now? Do they just need a moment maybe to understand? Do I need to ask in a different way? So this idea of awareness, I think, is most important to relationship building. And whether you want to think of it this way of building connection, any of these kind of relational words that are used, we can think about it this way, but we can also think about it, if this connects more with you, from a really practical way of, so much about good training is understanding what motivates the horse. And if we can find things that motivate the horse in a positive way, so things that they want to go to, not just motivating for things that they want to get away from, but things that they want to go to, things that matter to them, things that they care about, the itchy spot on their back, their favorite kind of treat, the place that they like to go because there's a really tasty grass or weed there that they like to eat. All of these things, when we can, or the things that they're curious about and they like to explore, that's a big one too. When we can really get curiosity going, that helps training a lot. This is a very curious girl, as you can probably tell. So when we can be aware of what motivates our horses, what they're interested in, we've got such a wider range of things to be able to use in our training to help tell the horse, yeah, that was a good job, that was something that I wanted. And that is really the basis of good training. It's that communication and being able to help them understand what it is that we are wanting them to do and asking them to do, so that they can also thrive in this domestic life and this world that we ask them to live in. So I would love for you to tune in. Tell me one thing that your horse loves and something that motivates them. Put it in the comments down below. Tune in tomorrow. If you haven't watched all the parts of the Balanced Riding Course Workshop, they're all available now. You can go and watch all 3 parts. Enrollment and all the details for that will be opening up in 2 days on Tuesday. So have a great rest of your day, everyone. Bye from all of the horses here, and I'll see you again soon.